May I ask you something?
Don't be angry with me, sir, but I don't know.
This place gives me the creeps. What if the vampire comes back?
The flowers are still fresh. This is a somewhat neglected and dusty hat. The stone is rather unwieldy, so it couldn't be used as a weapon. Someone fell and hit their head on it.
We're dealing with a very immoderate bloodsucker here. Shouldn't we have brought some wooden stakes with us? Or at least garlic?
The label is illegible. Looks like a set of surgical instruments. One is missing. An expensive hat with a few grey hairs stuck to the brim. Someone tore their trousers here. The blade is bent from the impact. The bleeding wasn't severe, there are just a few drops.
Nicely roasted.
Psilocybin mushrooms. These are powerful hallucinogens. I wonder how even the most destitute always somehow manage to scrape together enough for a drink.
You're not even trying, Sherry. Concentrate. 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 You're not even trying, Sherry. Concentrate.
The brother of the deceased became furious when he caught the anatomist exhuming his sister's body. He killed him with a shovel. The graveyard keeper took to his heels, but didn't get far. He fell, hitting his head on a stone, which rendered him unconscious. With the murderer gone, the reporter who was hiding punctured the neck of the first victim to imitate a bite. But when he did the same to the second victim, he killed an unconscious man. So we have 2 murders and 2 murderers, but no vampires.
Vampires are not so scary when you have grave robbers and journalists running around.
Just don't tell Stark what I said, or he'll think I'm a coward.
Constable Stark, do you believe in vampires?
Eh? What do vampires have to do with anything?
Oh, that's exactly what I thought while looking into the murders at the cemetery. The primary suspect is indeed the murderer, but he's not the only one. The reporter, who so easily fooled everyone with his vampire stories, killed the other victim.
But why would he do that?
He believed the unconscious man to be dead and decided to concoct a thrilling story for his readers.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Holmes. I'll have the conniving little scrub taken in immediately. There's only one case left. Don't let me stop you.
I hope you haven't had your lunch yet. This one's bad.
The hoof prints end in deep furrows. The animal was resisting.
What a waste. My gut tells me some dark magic happened here.
The rope is soaked with wine. Multiple bare footprints. I should examine them more closely. Multiple bare footprints. I should examine them more closely.
The priest said that he came here to stop the ritual. Did you really, Father?
The goat was torn to pieces. Ugh. Savagery. 3 lusty women engaged in a ritual. They're drinking and dancing when suddenly they hear a noise from the bushes. Their ritual seems to be working. There's a man they can get drunk already. While 2 of them are busy with the priest, the 3rd one leaves. She is the one who stole the goat and brought it to the ritual. The poor animal smells trouble and charges at the drunken woman with the amphora. Still, he couldn't break free, and at the end was brutally torn apart and eaten alive.
Well, they attracted the attention of men. The police, at least.
Can't wait to get back to the station away from this smell.
Mr. Holmes, I have great news. Our recent accomplishments have earned me a promotion. Sergeant Stark. It has a nice ring to it, hasn't it?
What do you mean, our accomplishments? Of all the nerve, I don't recall you doing very much. I solved all the cases.
Come, Mr. Holmes. I didn't mean to belittle your contribution. After all, legwork is just as important as paperwork.
And what about the brain work?
Also very important. Don't get me wrong, your assistance was most valuable. Anyway, I'll be moving back to the office space. My days at this blasted desk are almost over. I won't be scapegoated now.
Good for you, I suppose. Speaking of scapegoats, I've solved the last case on the board. The goat was stolen by the lady in the blackbird mask. As if that makes any difference, judging by the atrocity I witnessed at the crime scene.
Yes, I heard about that one. The things women get up to these days. Ugh.
Well, I'm glad to have been of service. Now I have other matters to attend to.
Mr. Holmes, if I may be so bold as to make one last request. Do you remember that I told you that our chief inspector has been missing for a few months now? My current task is to establish his fate. I've tried to make sense of his last case, but it's a convoluted mess. I would really appreciate your help.
Fine, you have me intrigued.
Thank you awfully, Mr. Holmes.
Tell me everything you know.
I don't know much. Just that it's connected to a gang called the Hive. Placido has been after their leader, the Hive Master, for years. But otherwise, I can't make head nor tail of it. Here, take the key to Placido's office. You might find some leads in there.
So is it Chief Inspector Placido who has vanished? From what I've gathered, he was a good detective.
Ain't that the truth? He was solving cases like shelling peas. Without him, things have gone downhill. He was a crotchety sort, always grumbling, fussing, taking his snuff by the handful, but I, for one, miss the old boy.
Very well, I'll see what I can find out.
One thing is certain. It's a dangerous business. Be careful, Mr. Holmes.
I can almost picture you as an inspector, Sherlock. You'd lie on his sofa all day and still solve more cases than the rest of the police.
This must have been an award for long and faithful service. A box of snuff. Strong stuff. Hive Master. Crime lords just love catchy monikers. The files are gone, that's odd. Is this familiar to you?
I'd tell you if I knew, but unfortunately, I don't.
Be careful, Mr. Holmes.
Now that is odd, to say the least.
Let's take the ear, Sherry. It'll bring us luck. You'll see.
Good lord, you can't be serious.
Nice. Always play it by ear, pal.
Are you able to help me?
The streets won't share their secrets with those who hide in fancy houses.
Does it look remotely familiar to you?
Should it?
Concentrate, Sherry.
Are you lost, sir?
Not at all. I'm right where I need to be. I'm Sherlock Holmes, by the way.
Ursula Oni, the Chief Archivist. How can I help you exactly?
I need to take a look at the history of Cordona and its islanders to retrieve some, hopefully, useful information.
Your brother Mycroft told me that you were direct, and now that we've met, I can see that is true.
Someone in our family has to balance the evasive nature of my brother. Well, may I use the city archives?
You may, of course, but in return, perhaps dinner?
That's a high price to pay for looking at your archives.
I was teasing you. Pay no attention to me.
I'll be right here.
What's up?
Hey,
I'm coming for you.
this is Hive territory. Shoot him, boys.
Don't bother moving. You've lost.
I will end you.
Give him the pepper snuff.
I am invincible. I'm coming for you.
Don't cry, you'll live.
I'm coming for you.
Too simple.
The snuff's ready.
Don't bother moving. You've lost. Too simple.
Give him the pepper snuff.
I am invincible. Get ready for some pain.
Excuse me.
I couldn't miss the party.
No, you killed him. The snuff's ready.
Not that easy. I'm coming for you.
You can overcome the brute now.
I will end you.
What a convenient way to pull the wool over the eyes of the customs house.
Smells of burnt paper. Just another day in a smuggler's office.
Everything knits together.
Smells of burnt paper. Just another day in a smuggler's office.
Someone's been burning papers, I see. Is this familiar to you?
No one listens to us, so why should I listen to you, oof bird?
Can I ask you a question?
No, sir, I won't talk to you.
Oh, I am bored. Call me when you find the answer.
Are you able to help me?
Can't say I know.
Excuse me, just one question.
No and no. You are not getting anything from me.
You obviously haven't thought this all through. Or are you just annoying these people on purpose?
Excuse me, just one question.
I have a question too. Who looks an idiot in his fancy clothes? It's you!
Excuse me, just one question.
A gentleman deserves an helping hand.
It looks as though someone or something has escaped.
A statue of a buckled cage inside a city full of criminals. Let's take a closer look, Sherry.
Help me, please.
It's funny when someone like you asks someone like me for help.
May I ask for your assistance?
Why should I care about your troubles when you don't care about mine?
Sir, I'm looking for a man who goes by the name of Hive Master.
Uh-huh.
Chief Inspector Placido.
And what makes you think that?
Why, your missing ear, amongst other things. You need a larger hat. I've been investigating your last case on behalf of Sergeant Stark, and now I think I understand what happened to the Hive Master.
Humor me.
You killed him, didn't you?
Huh. You're sharp, son. I'll give you that.
But why? Everyone deserves a trial.
Wasn't my choice. He and his thugs attacked me when I went to arrest them. It was a kill or be killed kind of situation. Turned out for the best, though. With his cronies dead, not a soul knows what the Hive Master looks like. His own gang, scared stiff of him.
So you assumed his place to dismantle this criminal enterprise from within?
Damn right I did. And after I'm done, I'm not planning to go back. I've had enough of this rotten nest of corruption. But it just won't leave me alone, will it? First, they dismiss my retirement requests, and now they send a sleuth after me.
It's not like that.
I tell you what it's like, son. This is not the first case you've worked on for Stark, huh? That amateur promoted to a sergeant for his merits? I don't think so. You're not an officer. But from what I can see, you are much brighter than the lot of them. So what's your stake in this? You some sort of consulting detective?
Yes, I suppose you could call me that. My name is Sherlock Holmes, at your service.
Then do me a service, Mr. Holmes. Drop this case and don't tell anyone you saw me here. Let me enjoy my retirement in peace.
I have to ask, why are you so fascinated with beekeeping?
I just want a quiet life, away from the hustle and bustle. Watching the little workers like I once watched the criminal world of Cordona. Yes, it suits me just fine.
I have your ear.
What the hell? Give it to me now.
All right, but let's make it a fair exchange, shall we? I'll trade it for your revolver. You have little use for it now.
Deal. Now go.
I'll consider your request, sir. Either way, I must talk to Sergeant Stark.
Tell him I died a hero. Or a coward, I don't care. As long as they leave me alone.
New gun. Nice. Can I have your old one?
Sergeant Stark's back at his desk, across from the Chief Inspector's office.
Any news, Mr. Holmes?
Chief Inspector Placido can be presumed dead. I was unable to find his body, but the evidence is unequivocal. He's gone.
I suppose I expected as much, but still it doesn't make it any easier. Placido was a good man. You would have liked him if you'd met him.
Yes, it's a pity. I'm sure I would.
In any case, no matter how bad, the truth is better than uncertainty. Please, take this as a token of gratitude. You've done us all a great service. Thanks again for your help. Good luck, Mr. Holmes.
The man deserves to be left alone.
That does sound vaguely familiar. Wasn't his name, Theodore? Theodore Gilden, perhaps?
That wretch Goliath would murder us all. Mark my words.
Destruction and trampled ground.
It's as if a storm went through here.
Destruction and trampled ground. A coal gas tank, enough to pump up an airship. A sailor's knife, useful for cutting wet and thick ropes. It's seen a lot of use. The blade is worn from grinding. Fresh signs of impact. A rough landing led to an altercation with this shed. Oof, the contortionist you were not. Disjointed vertebrae. Difficult to say if it was a way to start or finish him off. A missing pinky, middle-aged. It's none other than Theodore Gilden. A kneecap reduced to splinters. A belt from a dressing gown, curious.
Oh boy, Sherlock. Another death means another question.
And we shall answer the question. It's far too interesting to give it up to the police. Didn't we get to fly in it as children? I doubt it could hold my weight today. A strong pull broke this leash.
Poke the elephant with this? Really? People are hopeless.
A pool of blood and saliva, possibly as a result of impact.
Sherlock, take a picture of the footprint. It's valuable evidence. This photograph can help us find the old article about the elephants. The front page was fascinating. It was hard to believe as a child.
True. We may need it in our investigation.
You're not even trying, Sherry. Concentrate. You're not even trying, Sherry. Concentrate.
In a fit of rage, the elephant broke the chain and threw its victim on the ground with a fierce power. Escaping the scene, it pulled the body with it, but dropped it at the gate. At least some of this was witnessed by a third party who was hurled against the shed. The elephant can't have gone too far, I can still track it.
Well, suppose you find it. Then what? Push it all the way back to the manor?
Hog heaven.
He was certainly under pressure.
Destruction and trampled ground. Can I ask you a question?
That's a question I can answer.
Hello.
Not bad.
The elephant barged into this cart of olive oil.
What if we're lucky and he slipped and fell somewhere along the way?
Are you able to help me?
There is no amount of money that would make me talk.
Okay, hear me out. If an elephant falls in the forest and there's no one around to...
John, no.
Oh, you're such a killjoy. Want to go for a swim?
Strange. It was hung with care. The game has escaped us for now. We'll find a solution to the elephant problem later. This young lady has a childish interest for her age. I can always recognize the spirit of a true artist.
Why do I get the worst jobs?
A royal suite for a favorite pet.
Plenty of food to satisfy even the most fastidious.
You. Who are you?
My name is Sherlock Holmes. Theodore Gilden was...
Did you kill him? Did you kill the elephant?
It's not in the yard anymore. It escaped into the forest.
You can't let it go. What if it returns?
I highly doubt that, Miss...
Imogen Gilden. Please, I beg of you, find that dreadful beast that killed my father.
I suppose we do need to learn what happened. Can you tell me what happened? From the very start.
I was here, so I didn't see how it began. My father visits the enclosure every morning to wake up Goliath. Today, I heard the elephant scream. I've never heard such a horrifying sound. My heart stopped. I knew something was wrong. I looked through my window and saw how it lifted my father up by his neck. I rushed downstairs. I saw it dragging my father as if he were a doll. I threw stones at it. It dropped my father's body and charged outside, screaming. Its roar was almost human. I was frightened, so I ran inside and hid here.
That is a terrifying experience, Miss Gilden. I'm sorry you had to go through it.
Thank you. Goliath must be caught, Mr. Holmes.
Well, thank you for the information, Miss Gilden. I did have some questions for your father. Perhaps you might help me with them?
I wasn't privy to much of my father's life, and it's very hard to think of anything at all with Goliath still loose. Please, Mr. Holmes.
Very well. Do you mind if I ask you more questions if I find anything that might help?
Anything to catch that monster.
Miss Gilden, I was on this island 10 years ago, and your father knew my mother. I believe I even had the opportunity to ride that balloon outside, but I do not recall seeing you.
I lived at my late mother's in Sheffield at the time. I'm in no spirit to reminisce right now. The elephant is out there.
You've never heard the name Violet Holmes before? Perhaps your father...
Please, Mr. Holmes. With that beast roaming free, I can't think of anything.
Very well. I have to leave you for now. Had Goliath been aggressive before?
It's dangerous, but it was never aggressive near my father. My father would do anything for Goliath. All the elephant had to do was clap its ears.
You envied him, the elephant, I mean?
Our house is called the House of Ivory. I've heard some people refer to me as the Ivory Girl, and my room stinks of the animal, as if it's me who lives in a pen and not Goliath. It's not envy, Mr. Holmes. It's just incredibly difficult to live like this.
Did you observe anyone else in the yard? Any of your servants, perhaps?
Servants? Do you imagine that we would have any with Goliath? No one wishes to work in this house, even for double pay. I didn't see anyone else. Only my father and that diabolical beast.
She packed as much as she could carry. False idols? Oh, sounds utterly dreary. The same dull poses on all romantic photographs. So idyllic. Enjoy your happily ever after before it stales.
Hey, Sherry, we need to talk. You found false idols. We need to find the remaining two.
What does bazooka even mean? Would this paper be good for anything but blowing one's nose on?
They're not rubbish, Sherry. There's something more. I'm serious.
Very well. I doubt it'll be worth it, but I will find them for you, John.
You'll thank me later. They're some of the most imaginative books I've ever read.
What did you say?
Speaking aloud helps me think. I found this. Who's this young lad next to you, your faithful knight?
Paul. He's my pirate. He's not really a pirate. I just call him that. It probably sounds very silly.
Your secret is safe in my hands. Does Paul work somewhere? What is his surname?
His name is Paul Perks. He and his yacht Whirlpool are the champions of the Salacia Yacht Club. He sails there. I'll show you where it is on the map if you need to meet him.
A yachting champion? Oh, well, that will be a first. I prefer dry land. And so does my suit. I have to leave you for now.
Lovely to see you.
Help me, please.
That's a question I can answer.
How do you do?
Bloodied bandages. Has someone been hurt?
Where would a champion hide a key?
Champion's Whirlpool. Paul's bread and butter. foghorn to navigate and warn others at sea.
It should have a warning to cover your ears. We can become pirates and show them what should be stored in here.
Sails of hatred. I suppose there is something for everyone, including champions.
Who knew archaeology could be so exciting?
Exciting is certainly a word. I hope Paul is more skilled at yachting than he is at hiding keys.
Too ordinary a room for a champion. There's no incentive to put in any effort.
An expensive set of tools for woodwork. An amateur wouldn't know how to use these. A box full of darts. Each has a needle and can be loaded with drugs. Shipbuilding, shipwright's tricks, sail weaving. To earn big, you have to spend big. Mr. Gilden wasn't afraid to get his hands dirty. Additional earnings to sweeten the victory. Additional earnings to sweeten the victory. An interesting place for a message to a champion. Old betting slips. Paul always bets on Whirlpool. One victory after another. Bloodied bandages.
too ordinary a room for a champion. There's no incentive to put in any effort.
Have you seen what your father sent to Paul?
This is despicable. My father was never a gentleman, but this crosses the line. I knew that father wasn't fond of Paul, but this is just awful. If only he could have seen how good Paulie is to me. I've nothing to say about this.
These bags of yours, it looks as if you've packed your entire room. Were you planning on going somewhere?
My partner and I, we wanted a change, a fresh start abroad. But now I have to stay here. Here, an orphan.
Are you aware that Paul smuggles drugs for a dangerous gang?
Mr. Holmes, I've already told you. I call him a pirate in play. He's not an actual pirate. He's a champion and a brave gentleman, not a thug.
Let us agree to disagree on that. But don't be surprised if one of his clients knocks on your door.
I'm afraid I can't add anything useful. I'm afraid I can't add anything useful. I've nothing to say about this.
I have to leave you for now. A commendable effort to barricade the windows.
Extra, extra!
Interested in some Cordona news? Check the front page. You won't regret it.
We can become pirates and show them what should be stored in here.
Undeniably psychotropes. Not for toothache, I think. Undeniably psychotropes. Not for toothache, I think. A typical tea tin. I wonder what he has for biscuits.
Oi! Hands off my possessions before you lose your fingers. Are you illiterate? The rules are written everywhere.
Ah, Mr. Perks, the cabin boy himself.
Champion, you mean? I was right. You are illiterate. I think a couple of shiners might teach you. One last chance. Who are you?
I'm Sherlock Holmes, a friend of our mutual acquaintance, Miss Imogen.
Look, you artichoke. Imogen has no friends. Except for me.
If you must try to insult people, it's better to know the meanings of the words that you're using.
You fancy you could teach a sailor to swear? Go ahead. Show me how inventive you are.
Stand still for a moment. So, a woman wishes to become a real criminal, and smuggling is a stepping stone towards that? Is there not enough prestige in yachting? Or is it easier to compete with other fools like yourself? Everyone has a starting pistol, just shoot and run.
Don't say a word. I don't know where you're getting half of this nonsense, but you're on some thin ice here that I'm willing to crack.
Damn you, Paul. I'm sick of... Who's this peacock? Does he know who I am?
I definitely know who you are not. You're not a dictionary reader, at least. I wanted to see how you... pals interact with each other in your natural habitat. But I'm afraid I have to interfere.
I'm coming for you. I couldn't miss the party.
Too simple.
Take a... Give him the pepper snuff.
Too simple.
The snuff's ready. Time to knock this guy out.
I couldn't miss the party.
Don't bother moving. You've lost.
It's all yours now. Go for it.
too simple.
Give him the pepper snuff. The snuff's ready. Give him the pepper snuff. Can overcome the brute now.
Take a rest, my friend.
And there's no reward for risking our lives.
Paul's explanation will suffice. Your fellow mariners have a strange way of showing hospitality.
They were not my friends.
Are you sure? I would rather risk my neck for someone who's at least honest and thankful.
Perhaps then don't enter someone's life and be so judgmental, pretending you're better than they are.
Then give me your perspective and allow me to see through your eyes. What were you doing this morning, Miss Perks?
Don't call me that. I'm a champion. I was sailing.
The other club members told me that you missed the race this morning. Do champions not need to practice?
Ugh, you've talked with them already. No, I wasn't racing. I visited the doctor after that attack on me. And then I had to honor the deal with the bandits you just took care of.
I tried to tell you before, but your partners interrupted. Have you heard the news? Theodore Gilden is dead. Do you have anything to say?
Well, what a shock. To me, he was an angry old ogre. Good riddance. Was it Goliath that killed him? Did it crush him? Break his bones? Come on, tell me. I want all the details.
You have an unusual way of showing grief. Imogen wouldn't appreciate that. But yes, the animal could have been involved.
It's poetic in a way, isn't it? It takes a beast to kill a monster. I wish I could have been that elephant.
This business of yours, you should be more careful. Ruining your life at such a young age is ridiculous.
I am careful. Except for you, no one has noticed where I store the smuggled goods. If the police arrive, there's no link to me. It's common storage, not exclusively mine. I don't know what this means. I'm clueless.
You smuggle illicit psychotropes on your yacht. Not a delivery for the hospital, I'm sure.
Of course not. I've had to cut corners to earn some money. How might a person afford to pay for a yacht in an honest way? I don't know, although I'm smart. The buyers are my customers. Adults who are willing to pay for their pleasure, or weapons for jewels. Whatever they want me to deliver. Nothing criminal.
Well, it's your lucky day. I'm not here because of smuggling. Have you tasted this tea yourself?
I wouldn't have been a champion if I had used it. It's just a side business that keeps my career afloat. It's quite expensive to compete in yachting. Sometimes I cut corners.
Such as fixing Whirlpool yourself?
Exactly. And sometimes I just have to pay. That's how I earn money. I don't sell slaves or take the last mangear from a poor family.
Imogen doesn't strike me as an industrious young lady, so I find it strange that she was busy packing up all her belongings when Mr. Gilden died. That's some favorable wind in your sails, isn't it?
Is it so suspicious that a couple might embark on a trip? I wanted to thank her, so we planned to go traveling. A Theodore-free place, without elephants.
The timing of it is suspicious, however. Your lady friend becomes an orphan and heir, and there's a planned trip directly afterwards.
An improvised romantic dinner will never please a spoiled girl. A planned voyage might. It's not spur of the moment.
It seems as though Theodore Gilden hung a sword of Damocles over your life and career. Were these only words, or something more serious?
Check my forearm. Pulled muscles and bruises. Small cuts. Nothing that you could call serious.
I doubt that a man in his late 50s could wrestle you.
It wasn't him. He behaved like a rat and hired brutes. His boys tried to lock my hands behind my back, but I was faster and I escaped.
Was he so protective of his daughter, or was it your feminine secret that provoked him?
My guess is that he was protecting his property. As he saw it, he owned Imogen, and he treated her like a piece of furniture. He didn't want his daughter to be loved by anyone. What's more painful is that Theodore didn't allow me to love his daughter. Typical.
I'm not sure that your relationship with Imogen could be described as typical.
Are you afraid of a woman in trousers? Now that's typical of men.
Look what I found. A box full of darts.
Hey, that's mine.
I confiscated it. These darts appear to be filled with something. Poison? How powerful is it?
It's strychnine. Enough to instantly kill a small rodent. I haven't tried it on a human. Yet. I hope you know what you're doing.
Could it immobilize a larger animal, say, an elephant?
I've never tried, but I have wondered.
A charming picture. I've heard that champions do often pose with their trophies.
Cheeky. It is a lovely trophy, though. I'm sure you will agree.
What is it that you like most about her? Her naivety? Her father's money?
A somewhat difficult choice. Especially now that her father is out of the equation.
Does this knife seem familiar? I didn't find it in your competitor's back, to be clear.
This knife is as blunt as your humor. It's a bosun's knife, but it's not mine. I wouldn't be so careless as to mislay my tools. I'm clueless.
What can you tell me about the elephant?
He's smarter than some people here, including his owner. Although I feel he could be dangerous, no matter how much he's fed.
Why is that? Have you ever seen Goliath attack anyone?
Well, not exactly. But I saw it, abusing some poor tree during one of its walks with Theodore. The expression on that old ninny's face was priceless. But it wasn't funny to look at. Believe me, it was frightening.
I have to leave you for a moment. Don't sail too far away.
don't have any thoughts on this.
I have to leave you for now. Nicest spot in the room. Mr. Gilden spent hours of his life right here.
Staring at an elephant's backside. What a wonderful life. Looks eccentric and smells eccentric.
His second child? An apparent son and heir, I'd say. What's so special about this place? Another elephant? A partnership annulled with a single stroke of a pen. A catchy title. I should take a photograph of the plans. I don't want to carry them around. A relatively functional choice to replace the finger. Ugh, the pungent stench of an animal.
Did Theodore seek some pink elephants with this?
I think Miss Gilden has barely matured. I think they were closer than you and me, John.
I'm hurt.
Quite the spectrum. From the history of the Roman Empire to conspiracy theories of the French Revolution. Mother, It's nice to see her young and smiling. From before Mycroft was born, our family loves to prod at the past.
Holmes's desire to rake up the past is hereditary.
And, which part of the elephant is in here? It's quite pungent.
Oh, that. It's elephant sweat. Father believed that it might replace traditional ambergris.
Well, that's true entrepreneur spirit. A. Swift, is this name familiar to you? Your father had it removed from this plan.
Oh, that's Arthur Swift. I've seen him a couple of times here. He works with my father in the old city, digging up something ancient.
He is an archaeologist?
That's the word, yes. But to be truthful, I really don't think Mr. Swift is fit to be one. I've just learnt a lot about archaeology from my favourite book series. Oh, they are page-turners.
Inspirational, I'm sure, but would you happen to know where this Mr. Swift might be found?
I don't, but perhaps you can find out somewhere. My father's work with him is all official. Lots of boring legal papers with signatures and stuff.
I have to leave you for now.
Treasure maps from the governor. Find 8 and come back for more.
I'm curious, how did Mycroft recruit you? I doubt you're a field agent. I imagine you work with intelligence.
That's correct. Your brother noticed me when I tracked down a spy at the archives. That's how our cooperation began. And you? Did Mycroft force you into this?
Not at all. We simply have a mutual interest in someone. Or something.
Of course. A fruitful and willing collaboration, I'm sure.
Well, I'm his younger brother. I have to accept the consequences of being a close relative of an official figure.
I suppose, in a way, we are colleagues, Mr. Holmes.
In the remotest way possible, Miss Oni.
I'll be right here. With your love for archives, you would have made the perfect bureaucrat.